So welcome back, guys, to another video, and I thought for this week's video I would tackle a question that I've been asked numerous times since I started my channel, and for some reason, almost 4 years doing YouTube now, I'm finally answering it for some of you guys. Some of you guys already know the answer, but for some of you guys that are just watching, I'm going to be talking about my favorite console of all time. Now, first of all, this was a very hard subject to tackle, because I have a lot of consoles and I just love video games. I feel like, you know, if you get a console and you have like a handful of games you really enjoy, you're doing something right. And I had to kind of leave a little bit of nostalgia out of the window because, you know, it was hard for me to choose a favorite console of all time, because I started thinking about some of the consoles I grew up with, like the NES, Super NES, you know, Sega Genesis. I grew up with a lot of the classics. So I had to sit there and really think about it. But my favorite console of all time is the Sega Dreamcast. Now, some of you guys may be wondering, why the Sega Dreamcast? Well, I have a really funny story about that. Now, it was probably about five and a half years ago. I was watching YouTube and I was watching Happy Console Gamer, and I was seeing Johnny Millennium and Robman totally gush about the Dreamcast. And, you know, for many years I knew that Dreamcast was very underrated, that it was a very unique console. It was the last Sega console. But at the time it came out, I got a PS2. I kind of skipped the Dreamcast phase, and I was watching Johnny and Rob talk about the Dreamcast, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was their enthusiasm, I don't know if it was the beers I was drinking that night, or maybe it was because I had just gotten out of a relationship and I was kind of depressed, and I was sitting there watching and I'm like, you know what, I really want to start doing some more collecting. What's a new console I should get? And I was like, I should just go out and get a Dreamcast. And I am so glad I got one, because there's so many great games. For one, if you're depressed, if you're sad, you cannot be sad and depressed while you're playing Shenmue. I'm telling you, I had never played the game until that point, and I knew it was so revolutionary for gaming, but to see the game in the flesh, you know, first person, it was just remarkable. I mean, to see all that exploration, great storytelling, you know, to see where that game was at that time and where it is today, it revolutionized the way we look at, you know, those sandbox style of games. I mean, you can't be sad. You know, you can't be sad playing Shenmue when you're going and you're getting those little capsule toys and he's like, thank you, I think I'll have another. Great stuff. And also, Dreamcast is the king of fighters, man. There's so many great fighting games on the Dreamcast, from Marvel vs. Capcom 2 to Plasma Sword. One of my personal favorites, Power Stone. Man, I lost so many hours playing Power Stone. Gosh, that was a great party game. And they got some great shooters as well. I'm a big shooter fan. I love like the shoot 'em ups, you know. Giga Wing 2 was a lot of fun. I had so much fun playing that. And Ikaruga, man, that was a definite treasure right there. And I think that's the biggest thing. This thing also, the Dreamcast is like an arcade inside your house, and that was a pipeline dream of mine to this day, is to have an arcade machine in my house. And for many years, you know, playing some of the 16-bit games, there were arcade ports. I would always kind of compare them to the arcades to see how close they were to it. And the Dreamcast, most of the games you play on the Dreamcast are arcade perfect. A good example would be Soul Calibur. It's just like the arcade. It's really awesome, and to see that on your screen at your house and playing with all your friends and using like the actual like Dreamcast arcade stick, it's an experience that I definitely love. I mean, I love the Dreamcast, and you know, after having this console for so many years, I'm still finding games on this console to this day. I'm still finding hidden gems and homebrews and stuff like that. But yeah, guys, this is my favorite console of all time. It's the Sega Dreamcast. Believe it or not, it's crazy. I'm pretty sure some of you guys would have thought it was something with Nintendo. Kind of threw a curveball there. But anyway, guys, what are some of your favorite consoles? What is your favorite console of all time? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you guys. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And as always, happy gaming.